Hey Aquarius, that's you over here. Welcome to Tarot Lumination. This is your little report for August 2017 general, okay? So let's make the best of it. Let's see what happens. Just heads up, you're probably aware of it more than anybody else. What's happening with these new eclipses coming up with the Leo season, and how that lines up with the Leo North Node energy unfolding. So you might be kind of feeling like you're in a bit of a whirlpool, okay? But everything and anything that gets ripped away is supposed to go so that you can be the new shiny version of yourself, okay? Aquarius Mark II, okay? Like a spaceship, okay? The new Aquarius spaceship. So the cards were already pre-shuffled, but I want to take it to the very last second so that you are a witness. Now, you know you've done this before. You've probably seen thousands of other tarot readers. Read for your sun, moon, and rising, because that's how we do this stuff. We have to categorize people some way, somehow, to delineate these reports. So that's what we do. So cover all the bases, okay? And then maybe put it all together and sleep on it, and it might start to make sense for you. Okay, Aquarius? So let's just get on with it, okay? We're going to cut, just for fun, just to really break up the energy. Really, really break it up like that. And then we're going to do your little report. So here's the general vibe. Here's where you're coming from. Here's kind of where you are now. Here's where things seem to be heading. And here's how to go forward once that momentum starts to pick up, you know, as the month goes through. And here's the energy you might be attracting to you. If you understand how these things work, as you make your decisions and those decisions have an impact in the world around you, then the world responds accordingly. And in the most pure sense, you get exactly what you deserve. However, if you don't subscribe to those beliefs, then it might feel that this energy is coming at you, okay? Just out of the blue. Sort of like, oh, fate, you know, all that. And here's the energy of like, it's the hope and fear energy, because as you set up and the momentum picks up, by definition, you're heading into the unknown. And the unknown always carries a degree of risk and trepidation, like an excitement, like, oh, I hope I get this, I hope I get this, I hope I get that, and this works and that works. But what if it doesn't? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And this is where it seems to be heading. Okay. So what I try to do, I don't know if you can see it here, Aquarius. I try to do it as like it's a little heart. I think of it as a journey through from the heart, starting from here and going through the months. Can you see that sort of a shape? I mean, we try, okay? We try. And let's see. Also, by the way, we're going to have a look at the energy at the bottom, because I see this as supporting energy, like the weather outside your front door. And you have the Hierophant. Okay, so it might feel come to you in very different ways, Aquarius. It might feel that the weather, or let's say the spiritual weather around you, the conditions are very, very supportive for locking things down and bringing some order into what might have been a lot of chaos, a lot of upheaval and changes and shifts and transformations that might have been very uncomfortable. And the Hierophant energy is saying, this is how it's done. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it by the book, and we're going to create order out of chaos, okay? So that everybody understands where they are, so that the Aquarius Mark I can evolve and grow into Aquarius Mark II, hopefully starting by the end of August, kind of like as you integrate and morph through this month, because it's a very important month, this August, because of these eclipses and the North Node being heavily triggered. The Leo energy is going to be very, very strong, and it's going to be in your solar 7th house of significant relationships. This is not a relationships or a love reading, okay? This is just general wide energy. And we will be doing the love and relationships reading. But for you, Aquarius, the Leo energy, August season in general, sort of kind of ish, you know, a little bit of tail end of Cancer, a little bit of entry level of Virgo at the end. But in the middle, it's Leo energy, and it's loaded up with the eclipses. So you're really going to feel it, Aquarius. You're really going to feel it, especially in the area of significant one-on-one relationships. And there's kind of no way out of it. Wherever it lands in your chart, you know, you've looked at your astrology charts. It's like a big circle with, you know, cute colors and dots all over it. Wherever the Leo degrees are, you know, living in your chart, that's where you're going to feel it. And wherever the Aquarius degrees are living in your chart, that's where you're going to feel it. And it's a polarizing energy, the energy of opposition, because Aquarius is the opposite sign to Leo. So you're going to feel it at the maximum degree of polarity, okay, for better or for worse. So, and that's what, in other words, about this Hierophant energy, it's about bringing order to that. In case there is a lot of disparate energy that's being out of whack, when things line up and all of a sudden the sun energy is opposing your natal sun energy, your solar sun energy, then it's a full-on face-off of energies. And the energy is saying, Aquarius, this is how we're going to do it. This is how things are done. Don't take it personally. It's just that this is how it all works according to the code. Okay? Whatever code that might be. You might feel it's being imposed upon you because the energy of opposition can feel like an imposition. Or it can feel very, very awakening, like having that. When you get perfect polarity, it's like having an amazing full body mirror right in front of you. No distortions. Huge, beautiful, clean mirror where you see everything in stark reality. The best of you and the worst of you, okay? So that's a good thing. So the opportunity here is through the energy of dynamic, significant relationships, you may have a chance to really have a full, clear understanding of your true nature, all of it, all the bells and whistles and all the scary shadows, the whole shebang, okay? So you can have a chance to reformat and become Aquarius Mark II, the spacecraft. I'm sure there's a spacecraft named Aquarius Mark II. Here's the general vibe. Justice. So what's going to happen is exactly what you deserve. In other words, things that need to go and need to be gone, be gone. Things that need to arrive will arrive. And that is going to be just and fair and balanced. And don't take it personally, Aquarius. It's almost like this isn't even your energy in such a way. It's more like the energy of heaven coming in at you. It's the vibe of the reading. It's almost like justice is coming down and saying, hello, Aquarius. It's about time you saw this very important card, because we understand now that you understand that you're going through this period of profound polarization, where you may be called upon to adhere to or understand or realize that there is a code about how life works. Okay, there are fundamental laws of nature that must be understood. Otherwise, life can be chaotic. And all the Justice card is saying to you that this is exactly how it should be. It's just and fair and balanced, and it just happens to be your turn, Aquarius, okay? So don't take it personally, and this is what's coming at you, all right, Aquarius? And it's for the good. It really, truly is for your good, Aquarius. Even if you feel like justice is coming at you in a way that might feel unjust, that could be all the shadow aspects of yourself that are being revealed during this period of maximum polarity, maximum opposition, where you do get to see all the shadow aspects. And that's a gift. Treat it as a blessing, because then you can have a full awareness of your true nature, because it's in the shadow aspects of your nature where we can have all our energies of self-undoing and energies that need to be let go and released and be gone. Okay, so that you can heal and become the new Aquarius too. So treat this as good news, okay? Please, 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 okay? I'm not trying to be all preachy and harsh here. I'm just trying to say there's some very strong energy here. We're starting off with two big, powerful major arcana. So where are you coming from? Okay, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, pardon me. So it might feel, Aquarius, that you have been cut off. Sometimes this is a very rude card. It can be a very painful card to receive in terms of energy coming at you. In other words, you might be going through what appears to be like a slicing and dicing, where things that no longer belong to you are being cut away, divorced from you. And you might also be doing the same with anybody and everything around you that does not work for you. You might be saying, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, I separate myself from you because I, Aquarius, am no longer willing to tolerate anything but the pure truth. I would rather be on my own than live through something bogus and fake, lies, betrayal, living through appearances, living according to someone else's code that might be bogus. It's very important that I, Aquarius, live according to the code of Aquarius, the person who I am supposed to be on this planet right now, here in this lifetime. Okay? Doesn't matter whether you're attached or single. This is not a love reading per se, even though the energy is very, very much to do with relationships. Coming in, carrying this energy, it might feel, Aquarius, that you've been through a tremendous amount and you're still dealing with that. In other words, if you feel you've been like excommunicated from somewhere or something that you truly valued, if you are having a lot of, let's say, rude awakenings in terms of truth about the reality of life and how it actually works according to the code that you thought was the code of Aquarius, but you're realizing that you might have had some erroneous misunderstandings about how things actually work. And that can be really painful because, let's say, you were literally doing and living according to your highest principles, your highest morals, your highest aspirations, your highest level of consciousness. And yet, things got screwed up and messed up where it's almost kind of shocking, like, oh my God, I can't believe that. After all the work that I've done on myself, after everything that I've given to others, for the community at large, everybody in the world around me for whom I care and where I was fully integrated, and then come to a rude awakening where I was just a person who had strengths and weaknesses. And I, Aquarius, because what you do is you tend to give it all away for the community, for the benefit of the community, sometimes to the point of denying yourself, your heart energy, your emotions, your feelings, your ability to relate with warmth and depth and compassion and like a juicy steak kind of experience. No, it's like, no, we don't do that. We're vegans and we protect the trees, we fight for worthy causes, and we don't self-indulge. All that's happening as Aquarius, you might have just been overdoing it and punishing yourself, thinking you're living according to wholesome codes, whereas in fact, you might have just been hurting yourself by just being so overly Aquarian that it became redundant. And that would be the whole energy of the Aquarius South Node. All the Aquarian behaviors that are no longer useful for you, that are redundant, they have to go. And it could have just been a rude awakening, and you might still be dealing with that because you're actually heading into the eclipses now. So you might be coming into this already a little bit shell-shocked, and then knowing you have to come into more of this, going through August and then coming out of August for the next 6 months or so. So there might be an awful lot of truth-telling and reformatting, readjusting as you live through August. So again, try not to take it personally. There's a lot of swords energy here, and there's a lot of very, very strong, let's say, just say energy of the code. In other words, if you do not adhere to the codes, Aquarius, you're going to really know it, and you're really going to feel it. So please, the whole idea is to treat this August season as a chance for really getting a really cold, hard, clear look at yourself, even if it's painful, even if you're seeing aspects of yourself that you never wanted to see, you didn't even know existed, that are not comfortable. It's very, very important to understand these because they might be redundant and obsolete and they're just getting in the way. And it's time to reformat, reintegrate, and allow the new Leo North Node energy to unfold so that you can be the new shiny version of Aquarius, where it's much more about you, okay, as opposed to the world around you, your community, your friends, and your hopes and dreams and wishes for humanity. No, it's about time. It's all about you, okay? So where are you right now? You're struggling. It's okay. It's all right, Aquarius. You can do this. You've been through so much shit already in so many ways. You might be up to your neck in it wondering, God, am I actually ever going to get through this? Ever going to get over this? Well, yes, you will. Notice this gentleman here on the Nine of Wands is still standing. Yeah, he's beaten up, he's worn out, and he's ready for the next, onslaught of cold, hard truth, okay, which may not be welcome, but it's just kind of part of evolution, and it might be feeling like you've been singled out to get all these multiple hits from multiple angles. Just like, damn, like, did I even deserve this? Where did this all come from? I was just being my nice Aquarian self, and look what's happening. Damn. Like, again, it could be more like the energy of rude awakenings or just struggling to hold on to keep your passions alive, and so that you're not like swept up in this whole intellectual concept exercise of being Aquarius. It's struggling to hold on to the desire to live, the passion for life, the desire to engage with humanity. And it might feel like it's a big struggle because it might feel as though you've been betrayed or undermined or deceived, or that you might have deceived or undermined yourself for long periods of time by living untruth, being untrue, and suddenly being called upon, justice being served, like, well, dear Aquarius, guess what happens when you're not true to yourself, your true heart energy? You might be always inclined to live out of your concepts in your minds, but in the end, heart energy and love energy trumps everything. And it's very important for you now, Aquarius, to understand that. And it might be a very tough, painful lesson, but it's about time, and it might happen, start to feel it happening for real during August here. And so, as beat up as you might feel right now, please understand there's a lot more to come, and you will prevail. You will be fine, because that's basically how evolution works. It's just that you might be feeling, oh my God, what's next? I mean, how much more can they pour onto me? It's almost like it's not fair. But please try not to take it personally, okay? So where you're heading with this, okay? See, this is an opportunity. You know what I mentioned just a moment about love energy, heart energy? Let's just say you're dealing with brutal, hard, transitional, evolutionary energies right now, and it's just coming at you from every angle, and it's just like, it's hard to just get up in the morning and face the world. And you do it and you face it because you're an Aquarian and you can handle it and you're very strong and you can be totally unemotional about it if you have to. You wouldn't take it personally. And yet, deep down, the pressure could be so intense that you do feel it personally and you're starting to take it personally. And that can be very crushing and very overwhelming and feel like it's a heavy struggle. But guess what? Let's just say the energy of heaven is doing what it does, and it's gently, because this is what happens during the eclipse season, and it's with the Leo North Node energy that's unfolding. Everything that's beautiful and wonderful about Aquarius is going to be extracted, okay? And that's your treasure. That's being brought forward, and everything around it, like the scrappy bits, all the lint, the dust, and all the rubble under which the treasure may have been buried for a long time. Think of it as buried gold. All that stuff is, what do they call that? There's a word for it in the mining industry. It's basically all the ore that has no more value. It was the raw ore that came out of the ground, but this process here is like gold mining, like a refining process, and it could be very painful and a lot of work, feeling like you're being put through a grinder. But what's actually coming out is the revelation of your heart energy, where with the Ace of Cups, you get a chance during the Leo season to experience heart energy for real, love energy for real. And it might be actually a scary, painful process. Sometimes when you have your first real encounters with what genuine love is, as opposed to what you thought it was as a concept, it can be very scary. It can be overwhelming. But it's an amazing opportunity, okay? Aquarius, I hope you understand that. I'm not pounding on you personally here. So where does this go? How are you going to handle this amazing opportunity to tune into the Leo powerful heart energy, the energy of like raw love, okay? Love, passion, and creativity, becoming a whole new Aquarius that's like being buried treasure inside, and now it's time to come out. How are you going to move forward with that effectively? Okay, if it means you have to grieve and sorrow about everything that you feel you might be losing and leaving behind, then that's what you have to do. It's okay to feel grief and sorrow and sadness. It's a very healthy thing to do, to let it move through your body and your system so you do not become consumed by grief and misery. You don't want to identify yourself with your misery and pain and suffering to the point where it is your identity. No, that's not good. Some people do that. They become so wrapped up in their misery and sorrow and grief that that becomes their whole life. They don't know anything else, and that's not healthy. The way to move forward in a healthy way through this season is to allow the grief and the sorrow and sadness to unfold. It's like an opening up of the heart energy. If all of this stuff that's being cluttered and is obstructing your heart gets ripped away and you get exposed to pure raw love energy, it could, like I was saying earlier, it could be actually painful because it means you're saying goodbye to everything that you thought was love, everything that you thought was working, everything that you thought was your life and your world and your code and way of being. So that could be very, very almost tragic for you. But the important thing to move forward in a healthy way is to allow the grief and the sorrow and the tragedy to flow. If you have to cry a lot and use a box of tissues every day, do it. That's the most healthy thing you could do right now. So what does that bring in? Okay, it might make you feel as though, you know, as you go through the process of like shedding and getting ripped apart, like where your treasure is being extracted, it might feel painful. It might feel as though like, it's almost like this is like a card of impoverishment. This is not a love reading. This is just general broad energy readings about the whole broad energy. It's not a person or a relationship, even though we're dealing with relationship dynamics. As you release and let go of the trauma and the sadness and the sorrow, it might leave you feeling impoverished because you might have attached so much value to what you thought was valuable, but is now being discovered to not be so valuable, in fact, redundant, obsolete, and not healthy for you. And that could make you feel like, oh my God, I'm losing everything I knew, everything that I valued and trusted and thought was worth something, and it's all being taken away. That makes me feel poor, left out, on the shelf, so to speak. So it's understandable. And again, it's okay. This would make perfect sense given the situation right now. So again, the healthy thing to do is if you start moving into these two cards here of sadness and grief and impoverishment, that would be the appropriate thing. That would be an indication of everything that is redundant and obsolete. All the shadow aspects of Aquarius falling away. And you might have been deeply in love with all the shadow aspects, thinking that was the truth and reality. Well, we're discovering something else here. So what are your hopes and fears as you go through this? Because it could be quite a scary journey for you. I'm not trying to scare you, but the cards are indicating that you're going to be going through a huge evolutionary transformation here through the August season, the eclipse season, the Leo Aquarius eclipse season. Okay? So, again, Aquarius is understandable. You might be just literally, let's start with the shadow aspects. You might be terrified of the process of transformation, the process of dying before you die. This is very scorpionic energy. It's very plutonic energy. It's the whole idea of die before you die, allowing everything to die off that is dead and no longer worthy of you. And that's how evolution occurs, so that the good stuff, it's like when people burn the crops. They kill the crop and it turns into nitrogen type fertilizer for the new growth. So it's a brutal process. The process of transformation can feel brutal, but it is essential for our growth and our evolution. It's very, very, very essential to allow the energies of transformation to occur. And Aquarius, typically, like some of the other fixed signs like Taurus and Leo and Scorpio, it can be very hard to be flexible enough to allow these energies to flow through you. So you might be terrified of the process of transformation, because that's what would show here with the Five of Discs and the Five of Cups, as you become exposed to the opportunity, to the awakening of what real love is, okay, as opposed to what you thought it was. So on the positive side, let's say you hope, let's just say on the hope aspect, it's like, oh my God, I hope I can get through this transformation. Oh, I hope I get the transformation that I deserve, that I know, that I need, that I deeply want, deep, deep inside. No matter how painful, I get it, I understand it. Transformation is like transformational healing. It's vibrational, transformational healing. And it could be very, very, like a very shuddery kind of experience. But it's good for you in the end. Let's have a look, see where this is leading you, okay? Let me just see, okay, let's go, I want to go back a minute, because the whole idea with this reading, the way it feels from Tarot Lumination, is that it's a very strong, kind of heavy, serious reading about Aquarius being really shaken up, understanding about the law, like the universal laws, as opposed to subjective laws, subjective truth. It is universal law to which all of us have to comply. And it can be bumpy because you might have been so wedded to subjective truth, subjective laws, to discover that they're not universal, they're personal. And as they fall apart, as they crumble and fall apart, it's a tremendous opportunity here for the Ace of Cups, the energy of true love, to appear in your life, in your world. But we're not there yet. You're going through the transformational process. So you might be secretly crossing your fingers, like you might be in your heart, be very deeply aware of what we're talking about here, no matter how painful it is, the way Tarot Illumination is talking about it. You might be very aware of it, and you understand you're going to have to go through this and go through this in order to experience and own this, let go of this, and live through the transformational process. So you might be secretly hoping, like, man, I hope I can do this. I hope I can get through this. I hope I'm strong enough to get through this transformation, because I know it's coming. I know it's there. I'm going to have to live through this and go through this. It's okay. It's like going through the vortex, wah, 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 and coming through the other side. You can do it, Aquarius. You wouldn't be here otherwise on this planet. So where does this take you? Okay. I'm actually almost kind of relieved to see this card. There's a lot of very strong cards in this reading. Okay, so Aquarius, as the transformation occurs, let's say you come out the end of August, you're coming out of it like feeling as though you got whacked over the head with a frying pan, and you're going, wah, 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 wah. Oh my God, what was that happened in August? It might make you feel as though you're going through almost like an out-of-body experience. Like, you know what happens? I don't know if you're used to that energy, but if you've had a major car crash, you can feel as though whoosh, you've become disembodied from yourself, and you can watch the car crash around you, and you can see the ambulances, you can see like the other people who were hurt, and you can see yourself. And it's a very, very actually illuminating experience. Do you see how dazzlingly lit up this head is for this person here? This is your energy, Aquarius, coming through at the end of August, where you realize, like, my God, I actually needed that because I now have a chance. It's an extremely brutal, humbling process to come through the other side, almost feeling like you're, not say numb, but totally detached and have a very, very, very bird's eye view perspective about how life actually is now, which is going to give you a chance to tune into this. It just might be that you're going to have to go through this really tough transformational phase. And when you come out of it, it doesn't mean it's all rosy and pink and everything's wonderful. You come out of it alive and okay, with a very, very new perspective on life and the world and everything around you. And that forces you to take pause. And it's very, very okay to hold that energy of being kind of like in an out-of-body experience at that period of time, because you're going to come back into your body again later on another reading. This is just one reading for one period of time, one little season, okay? So don't be scared, Aquarius. Don't be scared, Aquarius. This is actually very, very good for you, okay? It might be an amazing ride, an amazing journey, an amazing transformation, but it's really all about getting you to open your heart, okay? That's what it's really, really all about here. And tune into a whole new Aquarius that you've never known before. Aquarius Mark II, okay? So please make the best of this. Reinterpret however you want. Please watch your sun, moon, and rising and have a super August, okay? It's going to be a hell of a ride, Aquarius, alrighty? Bye.